Hey, it's Frank here with Frank's DIY and Homeowner Help, and today we are going to unbox, well, I guess unplastic and uncardboard this thing here, brass Jiggler Siphon. And the reason why I'm trying this product out, and I really have high hopes for it, is that I have been having a lot of difficulty getting gas from these cans to this boat. And the problem is that you see the filler cap for the boat is lower than the level of the dock. And because of that, what I've been doing is sticking a funnel in there and then pouring from the dock. And invariably, it becomes a two-person job where it should be a one-person job. And when it's windy, sometimes the wind blows that gas as you're pouring in, or it splashes and it gets in the water. And in a place like this, in any place really, you don't want gas in the water. So this is the solution. I thought, I gotta get a siphon, and this thing should do the trick. Now what's special about this, and I never heard of a Jiggler siphon before, but that's the Jiggler part right there. So that's going to be a one-way valve. And what you got to do, and I'll open it apart and demonstrate it. I've never done it before, so you're doing it for the first time just with me. It's a one-way valve, so basically you take that end with the brass valve on it, and you push it into the tank. As you push it in, the valve moves up and opens and allows gas to get inside the hose. Then when you pull it up, the valve closes as the gas wants to leave the hose, which it can't do because it's a one-way valve. And then you push it down to the bottom of the tank again, and gas goes in again, etc., etc., until you get enough fuel in the line that you come over the top and gravity starts to pull it down and siphon it into the tank. So if that works that way, if this plan works that way, I should have a way to easily transfer gas from here to there with one person, without the use of a funnel and without spilling a drop in the lake. So join me on this and let's see how she works on Frank's DIY and Homeowner Help. Okay, so let's get this thing open. There's not really too much to opening this guy up. Now one thing I want to watch for is kinking of this hose. You see how they've packaged it here? It's created a bit of a kink there. I suppose this plastic thing is for you to be able to store it. Yeah, that's actually quite a neat little storage device. Grab that piece of plastic. Yeah, so I guess you can hook it, stick it in here, stick the end of the hose in here, and store it somehow this way. But I just want to avoid that kink. You see that? I don't think I will store it using this thing. Or maybe that's just for the delivery packaging, I don't know. Anyway, got to make sure that it doesn't kink, so we got to work out that kink there, because if it does, it reduces your fuel flow, and you can't siphon with a kink in a hose. So that's one thing I'd say right off the bat as far as this packaging, this delivery. It's made a kink in the hose, just not good. So we got to watch that, and we've got to store it in a way that eliminates that kink. The rest of it seems fine. Okay, so this is basically how it works. This is why they call it a jingle hose, or a jingle siphon. Jingle jingle. It's a one-way valve, right? You can see it here. Just a little ball valve, spring-loaded, that works its way up, which is the open position. So as you push this down into the fuel, fuel goes in that way, pushes the ball up, and fuel comes into the hose, right? Then you pull it back up to the top of the tank, and the valve closes, so the fuel doesn't leave the hose. And then you push it back down, and more fuel comes in, until you're finally over the point where gravity takes over, and you should have a nice clean siphon. It's a pretty long hose. How long is it here? Let's see. It is 6.5 feet. So you can see it's more than enough for what I need, right? So let's get jingling and see how she works. Of course, you're going to put the boat end in first and put it in nice and deep in case the boat moves around. You know what? I'm going to bring this tank a little closer to the boat. And now you're going to start jiggling, and hopefully you can see the fuel starting to come up. Remember, I've never done this before, so I'm figuring out as we go. You can see there's already fuel in it. Look at that. Okay, so that's it. It's flowing. You can hear the siphon rattling. Wow, that was amazing and easy. Now I'm just going to push that brass valve all the way to the bottom of the tank. And there it is. It's hit the bottom. You can hear it still rattling. That is so cool. So the plan is now that just keep it siphoning until you get right to the bottom of this tank, and then just pull this hose out, keep it nice and high, use a rag just to wipe off any gas that's attached to the hose, and then once all the fuel's out of this hose, just pull the hose out of the boat, same type of thing, wipe it down as you go, and this should be working amazingly. So there you go, starting to run out. And that is incredible. Now normally it would take me, you know, the better part of 15-20 minutes to get this full tank into there, and you know, some of it ends up going in the lake. This took, I don't know, less than 3 minutes. So as I bring it up, all I'm going to do is just hold the hose nice and high, let the rest of the gas flow into the tank, wipe down the valve here, and then just wipe the hose as I pull it out, and there really should not be a drop going into the lake. There you go. Incredible. Amazing. So happy with that. Okay, so just to conclude, brass Jiggler siphon. What an amazing product, and perfect product for the issue that I had and have. I've been here for 5 years, and I've always had troubles getting fuel into that boat without spilling. And one-person job versus two-person job. You just saw how easy this is. Not only is this easy, this is the cheapest type of siphon you can get. This was 15 bucks. And there were a whole bunch of little hand pumps and other kind of pump-driven siphons, battery-driven siphons, battery-driven gas siphons that then said do not use for petroleum. So this thing was an amazing buy. And you know what? It's something I can always have around, because I could use this to drain my hot tub or to drain stuff out of tanks and that type of thing. So cannot highly recommend this enough. Brass Jiggler siphon, 15 bucks, easy way to siphon gas out of anything. And thanks for joining me at Frank's DIY and Homeowner Help.